Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. I hope everybody's doing well out there and enjoying some beautiful weather. It's Halloween. It means nothing to me, but I guess adults and kids get into it this time of year. It does nothing for me. But anyway, if you're having a Halloween party or whatever, have a good one and be safe. Back to what we really started the video for. It's all about records. So over the years that I've been collecting, which has been 50 years on and off, I've acquired a lot of compilation albums. And these compilations are everything from rock, jazz, blues, country, folk, and all sorts of stuff in between. So I thought I'd do a couple of videos to highlight some of the compilation albums I've picked up over the time. And some are a little more interesting than others. Some I think you've probably seen, others you haven't seen. So we'll see what's what. First one is I don't have many concert albums like Woodstock. Not going to show that. But this one is a little more interesting. And this is the Isle of Wight and the Atlanta Pop Festival compilation. It's a 3-record set, put out in 1971. If I can open it, it'd be even better. Here we go. Nice trifold pack. And it features everybody from, well, let's see, the first record is the Atlanta Pop Festival. So record 1 is Johnny Winter, Poco, the Chambers Brothers, and the Allman Brothers. Side 2 is the Allman Brothers and Mountain. And then we switch to the Isle of Wight. These are both festivals from 1970. Isle of Wight, first record is, side 1 is Sly and the Family Stone, Cactus, and David Bromberg. Side 2 is 10 Years After and Procol Harum. The second album of the Isle of Wight, side 1 is Leonard Cohen and Jimi Hendrix. And the side 2 is Chris Christopherson and Miles Davis. So it's a very eclectic group of people on this album, on these 3 albums. I guess I should show the label. Oh, nothing special, just regular Columbia label. But interesting album. Again, all live music. Always good to hear Jimi Hendrix live. The Johnny Winter is killer. Miles Davis is Electric Davis, so it's sort of, you have to really enjoy that stuff to get into it. But great little album. The Isle of Wight and the Monterey Pop Festival. That's sideways. Here we go. You see what we're doing here. So yeah, Isle of Wight, Monterey Pop, 1971. Next one is a compilation. It's the, this you see around a lot, I think. It's the History of British Rock. The best part about this album is side 1, which has Black Magic Woman with Peter Green and Fleetwood Mac, Mungo Jerry doing it in the Summertime, Donovan, Eric Bird and the Animals, San Francisco Nights. Other stuff on here, it's a little more poppy. Jerry and the Pacemakers, Swing and Blue Jeans, The Searchers, Peter and Gordon. But they also have the Kinks and Cream, the Trogs, Derek and the Dominoes. So it's a pretty interesting little 2-record set. History of British Rock. And it's on the Sire label. And this is from 1976. Nice little compilation. Some good stuff on there. Next one is one I picked up from a collector who had been in the military and had been stationed in Germany and England. And I bought his whole collection. And there are a lot of German and British presses on there. And this was one of the next 2, actually, from his collection. Both German. This is from 1968. And this is a collection called Underground. And it's really interesting because this has, as you can see, Julie Driscoll and Brian Auger and the Trinity, Crazy World of Arthur Brown, Cream, Jimi Hendrix, Velvet Underground, and the Mothers. The good thing about it is that these are not from their albums, so these are mostly live or other cuts from those bands on Polydor, stereo, UK pressing, German pressing. It's pretty great. You don't see this a lot. I was really happy to grab this one. So So in other words, Crazy World of Arthur Brown, Julie Brian Auger and Julie Driscoll as basically the first side. The second side is all Jimi Hendrix Experience, and Cream does Politician, and Hendrix does Little Wing. If 6 was 9, passing time back to Cream, and the 3 Stones from the Sun, Jimi Hendrix. The second album, the whole one side is the Velvet Underground, and the other side is all the Mothers. I'm trying to see when they were recorded. Don't really know. Let's see. No. Still, cool recording, cool compilation, and cuts but versions you probably don't know. So that's sort of cool. I like that. The other one he had, this is a great cover, but the record is not as great. There are a couple of good cuts on it, and this is called Pop Sound 70 from 1970, also a German pressing. The best thing about this one is the first song, which is from the band Taste, Rory Gallagher's first band, a song called Eat My Words. There's a lot of other stuff that's sort of, not so great, but the good stuff is they have The Who, Fat Mattress, Jack Bruce, Golden Earring, Savage Rose, 10-Wheel Drive. Again, pretty nice compilation. German pressing, 1970. Love the cover. Maybe that'll be the Halloween cover. All right, next is an album people might have seen around called Zapped, also from 1970. So obviously Frank Zappa inspired on the Reprise label, Bizarre label. We all know that label. And this has Alice Cooper, Captain Beefheart, Judy Henske, and Jerry Yester. Jerry Yester was in Love and Spoonful. Tim Buckley, Wildman Fisher, again Alice Cooper, Tim Daw, who I don't really know, Lord Buckley, Jeff Simmons, Captain Beefheart, the Mothers, and the GTOs, Girls Together Outrageously, one of Frank Zappa's early bands he tried to put together. So that's sort of cool compilation, Zapped, from 1970. Next one is one I never saw before, so I had to grab it. This was like a year or two ago. And it's called Rock on the Edge, 1986. So it's much newer, but it has Patti Smith, Television, Blondie, Graham Parker, Lou Reed, Richard Hell and the Voidoids, Iggy Pop, Lou Reed, Ian Dury, and Patti Smith. So it's a pretty great compilation. Doesn't cost, you can get these fairly cheap if you can find them. It's on Arista. And yeah, Patti Smith does Gloria and My Generation. Television does See No Evil. Lou Reed does Street Hassle and Real Good Time Together. Richard Hell and the Voidoids does Blank Generation. Iggy Pop does New Values. And Ian Dury does Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. So it's a nice compilation. Some interesting stuff on there. And that's called Rock on the Edge from 1986. The next two I've shown before, but like I said, I might have some new subscribers or viewers that haven't seen some of my older stuff, so I'm showing these again. I'll go through these quick. This is one of my favorite records I ever got. This is called Drink Beer, Yell, and Dance. I love this album. This is Midwest teen band Frat and Garage Stompers, 1961-1966. All originals, a strictly legal reissue, royalties paid in advance, all in original mono, complete liner notes with a booklet inside. Bands I don't think anybody's ever heard of. The Twilighters, the Lindells, Rod and the Satellites, the Catalinas, the Boys, the Rebel Rousers we know, that's about it. On Echophonic Records. Echophonic. And also came with a little booklet talking all about it. This is Jay's Party Time. Oh, it's Party Time. I'm sorry, it's Party Time. And tells all about the bands. Look at a picture on the back. So yeah, some great garage rock from there, 1961 1966. Next one is another one I've shown before, but I love this record. This is called Atomic Cafe. Atomic Cafe was a documentary made in 1982 about the atomic bomb. And it shows all footage from 1950s and 60s about the formation of the atomic bomb, initial tests, etc., etc. So on here, he has the music that was on the in the movie. It's just amazing stuff. First thing is called Adam and Evil, Golden Gate Quartet. Then they have Major Thomas Ferber, who was in the Enola the Gay bombardier. Enola the Gay was the bombardier that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, and his actual talking about that. Then they have Sonny Boy Williamson does Win the War Blues. Then they have a song by Lowell Blanchard and the Valley Trio, Jesus Hits Like an Atom Bomb. When they drop the atomic bomb by Jackie Dahl and his Pickled Peppers. Old Man Adams, Sons of the Pioneers does that. The Commodores does a song called Uranium. Atom Bomb Baby by the Five Stars. Atomic Cocktail. Atomic Telephone. Just great, great stuff. Rockabilly, country. It says radioactive rock and roll, blues, country, and gospel. That's exactly what it is. Fantastic record. Stuff you never see on Rounder Records. And also came with a sheet of paper that talks about the bands and the songs and that era of the atomic bomb and all everybody freaking out. And that's that. Atomic Cafe, 1982. If you ever see it and you like that rockabilly kind of stuff, definitely grab it. Next one is one, again, this one, people might have seen this one around. It's not that hard to find, but I love it. It's called Dance Craze, 1981. And this is the best of British ska. The good thing about this one is all live. So these are songs, again, by bands you know, but versions you may not know. So you have the Specials, the English Beat, Bad Manners, Madness, the Selectors, the Body Snatchers. Those are the bands. And they play some songs you know, Night Boat to Cairo, Ranking Full Stop, Too Much Pressure, Big Shot, Mirror in the Bathroom. But this is a soundtrack from a movie called Dance Craze on Chrysalis, Two-Tone Records. I love that label. Two-Tone. So if you like ska, English ska, and you see this, a fun thing. Again, these are a lot of songs that I know, but I don't know these versions. So that's sort of fun to have different versions of that. Next one is a record. Again, I picked this up at Goodwill. I couldn't leave it there. It's called The Ace Records Presents the History of New Orleans Rock and Roll. Made especially for the Louisiana World's Fair in New Orleans, May 12, 1984 to November 11th, 1984. So it has great musicians, a compilation. This is volume 1. I've never seen volume 2. It has Huey Piano Smith, Frankie Ford, Dr. John, Huey Smith again, Earl King, Joe Tex, Professor Longhair. Just great. I love that New Orleans rock. This is the early rock. They don't really tell you much about it. They're all pretty early recordings, if I remember correctly. That's the great Ace label. So that is the history of New Orleans rock and roll. Surprisingly, they don't have Fats Domino on there being a New Orleans mainstay. But there you go. Next one, I've seen a couple of issues of this. I only have one. I have to buy another copy, another volume of this. And it's Rockabilly Stars. This is volume 3. I've seen volume 1 and 2, and I just, for some reason, didn't grab them. And I love that rockabilly stuff. Love the cover. This is volume 3, and here you have Little Jimmy Dickens doing Hillbilly Fever, the Everly Brothers, the Collins Kids, John D. Loudermilk doing Tobacco Road, the original guy who wrote it, Johnny Cash doing Walk in the Blues, Johnny Horton, Rose Maddox, Carl Perkins, Sid King and the Five Strings. I love it. Again, Johnny Horton, the Collins Kids. It's just great. Love that cover. Rockabilly Stars, Volume 3. So I've seen Volume 1 and 2 out there, and next time I'm grabbing them. I don't care. Gotta have it. This is another weird one. Again, I can't remember where I picked this up. It's called Southern Rockin'. And I assumed when I first saw the title, it would be more like Allman Brothers kind of things, but not really. This is all stuff recorded in the late 50s to early 60s, and it's rockabilly, country, really kicking ass stuff. People I never heard of: Lonnie Allen, Lanier Smith, Dewey Guy, Jim Wilson and the Flares, Mason Dixon is a band, the Miller Brothers. Just great, great stuff. Listened to this the other day after I pulled it out to show, and again, I thought it was just so great. This is a songwriter. This is 1981. This is from Holland on Wight label. So I know over in that neck of the woods, Holland, Denmark, Sweden, they love rockabilly stuff. And so this is all put together by them, even though it's all recorded in the United States. Again, this is all recorded in the late 50s, early 60s. Southern Rockin'. Pretty cool. And by the same company is a record called Swingin' the Rock. What I love about this is if it says, looking there, it says Early, E-U-R-L-Y, Rock Recordings. I love that. And this has, again, people you probably never heard of: Ronnie Bramman, Larry Lindsay and the Bill Verplank Orchestra, the Squares, Donnie Lee Moore, Chuck Atha, Little Richard Moreland, C.V. Williams, again on Wight label, but a different Wight label, also from Holland. And this is from, the year wasn't shown, but I assume it's around the early 80s. It's just an assumption. But if you love that raw rockabilly stuff, this is great. All right, then another area of early rock was formed originally, I guess, in the Bronx, where guys would sing together under the street lamps or under bridges where they got good echo and good recording, good sound, and they formed DooWop. And this is a great 3-record set called DooWop Rock. I love that stuff. This one is really, the cover is totally falling apart. But this is from, originally released 1986, but all these recordings are from the 50s. WCI, I'm sorry. And this has original people such as the Moonglows, Don and Juan, What's Your Name? I love that. Shaboom by the Crew Cuts. The Monotones doing Book of Love. Barbara Ann by the Regents, not by the Beach Boys, the original. Do Run Run by the Crystals. Up on the Roof by the Drifters. The Platters, the Skyliners, the Marcells, the Ad Libs, the Olympics, the Belmonts, Dion and the Belmonts before he became Dion, before he left them. Danny and the Juniors, the Clovers, the Jive Five. Love DooWop. And this is a great, great compilation of DooWop. Another one is a lot of the DooWop groups, originally they were a cappella groups. They didn't have any instrument, nothing, just guys singing. So this is a album I picked up called The Best of Acapella. Of course, this is volume 5. I've never seen any other volumes, so I'd definitely love to find those. 20 songs, The Best of Acapella. And again, people, bands, the Apparitions, the Quotations, the Uniques, the Chessmen, the Notations. I love that stuff. That's on Relic Records. No Date is out of New Jersey and Hackensack, Relic Records. No Date, again, I'm assuming that it's probably in the 80s that they put these out. But maybe not, because it doesn't have a, if you look at the address, it doesn't have a zip code. So without a zip code, it had to be before the 60s. I think zip codes came in 64. So I'm thinking if it doesn't have a zip code, it must be earlier than that. But great stuff. Really a lot of fun. The best of acapella. And last but not least is another record I saw that, again, I knew none of these groups really, but it was the same company, Relic Records, on Red Top Records too. Relic is as part of Red Top, I guess. And this is called The Golden Groups Part 8, the best of Red Top Records. Now this one does have a zip code on it. Same address, Hackensack, New Jersey, but does have the zip code. And this are the groups, again, the groups I don't know. The Quintones, Tony and the Twilighters, the Students, the Blue Notes. But, you know, great, great stuff. I love that rockabilly, doo-wop stuff on Red Top Records. So these are some things to look for if you like that old original rock and roll. All that doo-wop and the acapella stuff is just, to my mind, some of the best stuff out there. I love it. Love that Red Top label. And that's it. The best of Red Top Records, the Golden Groups, Part 8. So there has to be Part 1 through 7 out there somewhere. Anyway, that's it for rock and roll. I have a lot more, but that's what I thought I'd show for compilations. I think next I'm going to be doing jazz, then I'll do blues, and then the fourth one will probably be folk and country together. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have compilations of stuff that are interesting, stuff you haven't seen people show, I'd love to see someone else make a video and show some of their compilations. And I want to thank again all my new subscribers. And if you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up and give me a like, and subscribe if you'd like. I'd love to have more subscribers. Appreciate that. And until next time, peace.